Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, it's Bisola here again. It's a delight to be here with you today. At the end of the last video, I promised that we're going to be discussing a wonderful, very controversial topic, and we're starting the single mom saga. Yeah, the reason why I decided to shed more light about this is because there has been a lot of controversy, especially with single moms, and why people want to choose the life of a single mom and how single moms are being judged, um, you know, just being judged generally and being given unfair treatment. So in the past, I'll say over 20 years now, there has been a significant rise in the amount of women that desire to be single moms. There has been a significant rise in the rate of divorces. There has been a significant rise in the number of women and young girls that seem to be having children out of wedlock. Now, this has done a lot to the society. It has been positive and it has also been negative. I am a coach and I've had the opportunity and the privilege to work with a number of women because I deliver mental health services. So I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of women, and especially with this issue of a single mom life. I have been there, so I know what it means, and I think I will be speaking from experience and also speaking from the stories of women that I've worked with. Now, there was this trendy video that came up in Nigeria a couple weeks back, and that was the issue of a landlord that refused to give his home out to a single mom because he had, you know, he had his ideologies. He had his, to him, he his ideas and his ideologies make sense, right? So we are all entitled to our opinions, right? We cannot force our opinions on other people. However, I just wanted to shed a bit more light on this issue. Now, there are different scenarios. I'm going to mention about 4 different ladies and explain their lifestyle and explain their stories so that you on your own you can decide to judge. Now, we have been given the ability to make choices as humans. That's one thing that God gave to us. So he cannot push his will. He cannot make us or force us to do things because we have the ability to make that choice. Now, if I want to go this way and God's plan for me is to go that way, he's going to give me the choice to choose whether I go this way or that way. Now, whether you decide you want to be with a single woman, it's up to you, right? It is a choice that you have to make. I read some comments last week about some men. There was a question that went out and it said, would you marry a single mom? And some of them were like, me, never. Single mom, never. What made her single? Do I know whether she killed her husband? Do I know whether she poisoned her husband? Do I know whether she slept around and then had so many kids and got pregnant and aborted so many times? Do I know what made her single? I love my life. I just cannot bear, I read so many comments. I just cannot, men are like, period. I cannot do this. I cannot marry a single mom. I cannot date a single mom. I can only use her. Those kind of things. Now, I'm going to paint some scenarios to you. So, we have 4 different ladies. And we have Bimbo. We have Olachi. We have Nkechi. And lastly, we have Uyai. So if you're out there and you have these names, it means nothing. It's just I'm just using it to paint a scenario. Now with Bimbo, she grew up in a home where her parents were not really close. She didn't see love. After a while, her parents separated. So she didn't experience love. She didn't even know what love was because she didn't see it being played out before her. So she grew up in that space of having her dad separate and her mom separate living apart. That's all she knew. She grew into the world. And guess what? Because of what we call and generational trauma, the fact that that's what she has seen and what has been mirrored to her, that is what she's going to attract, except if Bimbo decides to change her mindset. So Bimbo decides to start dating because she's looking for love. She's starved of love. Then she gets mixed up with the wrong people because her ideology and mentality about love is not right. So she gets mixed up and then meets this guy, and then before we know it, Bimbo gets pregnant, and Bimbo ends up in that same situation her mom was many years ago. Bimbo becomes a single mom. Bimbo loves her child. Bimbo is going to take care of her child regardless. She's not going to say because, oh, I had this child out of wedlock, I'm going to dump this child. Well, some women might. Or Bimbo decides she wants to raise her child. And along the line, Bimbo finds help. Bimbo begins to read books. Bimbo understands life differently. And now she realizes her mistakes. And then she wants to settle down. She meets John, for instance. And John begins to judge her. Oh, how did you become single? How did you become a single mom? Do I know if you slept with all the men? Do I know if you slept with all the men and got married and aborted? John begins to judge her. Bimbo tells John her story. But John doesn't believe her. So what happens? She breaks up with John. She moves on to the next partner. She tries to tell the truth. She moves on to the next partner. And then before you know it, she's moved on to so many partners and she hasn't found the one. She is still a single mom. Now I'm going to talk about Uyai. Uyai was a well-cultured girl. She saw life differently while she was growing up. What was mirrored to the image that Uyai saw growing up was an image of a loving home, a father and mother loving each other. Uyai wanted this. Uyai desired this. That was all Uyai knew. Uyai goes out to the world, but she gets mixed up with the wrong set of people. Somehow she falls in love with the wrong guy. Yeah, she falls in love with Segun. Segun, on the other hand, is the one that grew up in a home that he doesn't understand how to care for a woman. He mistreats Uyai. Uyai is well cultured. He doesn't treat her right. He doesn't love her right. He doesn't honor her. He doesn't respect her. He's unfaithful. He's all around the place. He doesn't provide for her. After many years, Segun gets displeased and decides he wants to divorce Uyai. Uyai begs. She pleads. But that's all he wants. He has seen another woman he wants to spend the rest of his life with. So what does he do? He kicks out Uyai out of the house. Uyai loves her children. She's going to get her children and go start her life. But guess what? Uyai is in Nigeria. Uyai is in Lagos and she wants to rent an apartment. And the landlord says, oh no, I don't know why you're single. I don't know why your husband chased you out of the house. I'm not going to give you this place. What do you have to say about that? I'm going to give you the story of Olachi. Olachi had a very, very good and very vibrant future. Her past was good as well. She had no track record of anything wrong. She dated just one guy all her life. That's all Olachi knew. Olachi planned to be married to her heartthrob, and they finally get married. Yeah, guess what? Olachi finds out that all the while, the love of her life had lied to her. All he wanted something much more. He wanted to use her for something fatal, He wanted to use her for rituals. She didn't know that. She gullibly went and joined with the love of her life. And would you believe, all the while, he knew what he was doing. He had no intentions to settle down for life with her. He had other plans. And suddenly, Uyai became her life was in danger. Yai had to run for her life. It's either she stays in the marriage and dies along with her children, or she takes off and runs with her children. Olachi runs with her children. Olachi becomes a single mom. She leaves that vicinity. She goes to another province, for instance. She wants to start life again. She starts life again. She meets this wonderful guy. Oh, they fall in love after her divorce. She falls in love with this guy, and guess what? The guy says he's not ready to settle down because Olachi is a single mom. He cannot imagine his life with a single mom. What is his parents will not even understand. He doesn't even know how to explain to his parents. So Olachi breaks up with him and is back to her single mom life. So many stories like that. So many ladies. And then there is the last one. Yes, the last one. I can't remember the name I gave her. Whether it was Nkechi or whether it was Ngozi or whether it was Neka, but you know what I mean. And then that one. Yes, she lived a wild life. She enjoyed life. Back in the university, she was with every guy. She was at every club party. She was sleeping around, doing abortions, and then she decides, I want to get married. And then she finds this lovely, young, good-looking guy, and then she gets married to him. But she's not satisfied. She's been with lots of men. She doesn't even know what she wants. She doesn't know what is right. Then she begins to mess around. And before you know it, she says, oh, I'm a woman. It's a woman's world. If he's not willing to give me what I want, I'm going to leave. Then she packed her bag and she leaves her husband's house. She files for a divorce because she cannot live the life of a married woman, because she desires the life of a single mom. Then she becomes a single mom. Look at these scenarios. There's different stories. Different women with different paths. But some people judge them all. They just gather everyone together and think that you became single because you chose that. So Tunde, Femi, Lekon, Emeka, Chukudi, I'm telling you now. Go and call your sisters and tell them, your friends. Tell Fumi, tell Josh, let them know. She didn't choose that life. Majority did not choose that life. I'm telling you, in truth. You see the case of the scenarios that I brought about a few minutes ago. One of them chose that life, but the other three didn't choose that life. But they had to own their story. Yes. So sometimes when life throws you a lemon, make a lemonade out of it. And that's what the other ladies did. They made a lemonade. They're like, no, this is what life threw at me. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to do something great with it. You see, most of them are happily married, you know. Single moms don't stay single forever. Yes, they meet that man that God wants them to be with. And eventually they get married. They don't stay single forever. If it was left to other men, maybe they'll be single forever. But we're not all created differently. Some have understanding. Some have higher understanding. Some still have some learning to do. So, whoever you are out there, Shade, have you ever seen a single mom and in your heart you've judged her? Yeah. Lekon, was there that time that you were supposed to date that single mom, but because of the ideology you had at that time, you decided no? Tell your sisters, tell your cousins, tell them that the single moms deserve some love. Yeah, they are humans too. We were all created to be loved. However, the world is wicked, right? And things happen. Things happen to people. Life happens. But still doesn't mean we love them less. It doesn't mean we love them less. Why is it that in the churches they gather to pray for widows and orphans, but they don't pray for single moms? Have you ever thought to ask yourself that question? I asked myself a few days ago. I asked myself a few months ago. I asked myself a couple years ago. And it's a cause that I want to fight. Single moms deserve some love. Single dads deserve some love. Yeah. So when you see one, give them a big hug. Because they're doing a lot. A single mom or a single dad takes the role of both parents. So it has to be there. You have to be stable emotionally, psychologically, physically, economically, financially, emotionally, mentally. You have to be well-rounded to take care of these children that the Lord has given to you as a single mom. So they need all the love they can get. If you have anyone around you that is a single mom, think of one way or the other that you can help that single mom or a single dad. It could be just an act of service. It could be just a hug. It could be just a reassurance that everything will be good. And to those of you that you've been told that that is your wife and she's a single mom, stop arguing. Stop arguing about it. Go ahead and make that wonderful woman your wife. If you're a single mom out there and you need a hug, you need support, you just need someone, that shoulder, you need the care, you need resources, you need tools. I'm your plug. I'm here for you. I'm here to help take away that brokenness and that feeling of loss and that feeling that you don't belong, and to replace it with love. So share in the comment section if you would love me to reach out to you. Please drop me a message. I'll be very available and I'll reach out to you. For those of you that have heard and have listened to this video, let me know what you think. Would you judge a single mom, or you show her some love? Do you have a single mom around you and you could do her some good? Are you thinking of marrying a single mom? Or you have your doubts? Please share in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. So next week we're going to be bringing another episode of the Single Mom Saga. I would love that you stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel for more and more of these videos. See you soon. Bye bye.